name is Katie Neely. I'm a retired Air Force Senior Master Sergeant, and at Roosevelt I am the Air Force JROTC Aerospace Science Instructor. Emma is a student in our class. She's been here last year and this year, so for 2 years, and she did junior ROTC for 2 years at Washington before she transferred here. And this year she's our Corps Commander, so Cadet Colonel and Corps Commander. Starting a new program, and us being new, was unique in the first place, and then not knowing the level of or caliber of students we were going to be receiving, but her having experience in some of the drill and ceremony, the marching, just the discipline, and the understanding of some of the terminology that we use was extremely helpful, and we relied on that, and she really rose to that challenge. So it was awesome to see, and it was very helpful. I don't think if we hadn't had that, or if we hadn't had somebody like her, we had a couple others as well, we would be where we are today with the program.
So I went to Washington my freshman and sophomore year, and I also did show choir there, and color guard, and JROTC. And so moving here was really scary for me, but knowing that those activities were also here, it was very easy for me to just fit right in and understand where I belonged in each group that I was a part of. Coming from Washington that had an Army JROTC and moving into a whole different branch of the Air Force and going and also changing schools, it was very hard for me. But knowing that everybody was at a fresh start and it was more welcoming because I didn't have any expectations to meet. Nobody knew anybody. We had our senior sergeant come in in the middle of the year, and so she was brand new, so I got to introduce her to everybody. And Major Johnson was also a big part of that too, because he was just like, oh, I'm so happy everybody's here. He was just super excited to get the program started.
With her role as Cadet Commander, she is basically in charge of all the happenings within the Corps. We are still developing those roles and really trying to make them more robust, but for now, she runs the staff meetings, the Corps staff meetings. She really is in charge of the day-to-day operations as far as the Corps goes, not the instruction or some of the other stuff that we handle, but what goes on. If there's an issue within the Corps and it can be handled internally, we want it routed up through them and handled at the lowest level. So the buck stops with her type thing.
I am Cadet Group Commander for JROTC, and so basically that entails if anybody has a question, they work up the chain of command. So they go to the person below me, which is Caleb Knock, and then he reports to me if there's any issues. Or with volunteering events, I'm also in charge of those. And when we present the colors at football games, basketball games, I love being a part of those. It's super fun. Just knowing that we're representing something else that's a part of the school that a lot of people don't know about. And so just knowing that we have that power to just bring something in and wear our uniform once a week, have inspection, and just bring a different aspect into the Roosevelt community, it's a very heartfelt moment.
We've done 24 color guards this school year. Most of them were at the school or at Howard Wood. A couple of them we did get the opportunity to go to the state basketball tournament at the Pentagon at the Premier Center. Those were amazing. She got to do a couple of those, which was it was a new experience for them. So we were extremely grateful for that opportunity, and they did really well. So I was really impressed with them. They've learned so much this year from where we started with color guard, to where we're ending the year with color guard. We have come a long way, and a lot of that is a testament to her and a couple of the others that have really brought this team along, and we have practiced really hard. We do a practice, it's do it again, do it again, do it again. We just keep doing the same thing over and over until we get it right. So, and then we do a lot of volunteer work, and she's instrumental in those as well, getting people, just asking people, hey, are you coming this weekend? Hey, are you coming this, tomorrow night? We go to the banquet, we've been to the Humane Society, try to just give back to the community. And it's really important for us to teach the kids that that's a part of this program, and we want to give back to the community.
So I'm in concert choir, which is the highest choir at Roosevelt High School, and I very enjoy choir a lot. I've been in it since middle school and high school. So I'm in color guard for the marching band. I've been in it for 2 years. I'm also in executive suite, which is the show choir here.
And that is a huge commitment, especially with all the events we have going on as well. So she really had to manage her calendar and make sure if she had a conflict that she prioritized and spread out her Emma in a way where it was manageable. And it's impressive the things that she can kind of manage, and it seems like almost every night, and she's working, and she's going to school full time, so it never seems to be a dull moment. There's always something going on, and she just seems to find time still to do all these things, so I am really impressed by all the things she can manage.
Basically, when I first started, the roster for show choir came out, and everybody was like, "Who is Emma Day? Is she like a freshman that's like in concert choir and executive suite?" And they met me, and I was like, "Oh, like I'm actually a junior." They're like, "Hi, everybody." And so they were like, "Oh, like we were so confused. We thought like you were a freshman and everything." And I was like, "Yeah." And it was really easy for me just because I was in the varsity show choir at Washington my sophomore year. And so coming in and just knowing exactly what was expected of me and everything like that, also with color guard. So I work at Papa Murphy's. I've been working there for 2 years. I work about 20 hours a week, so depending on like what activities I have going on. In my life, I basically just try to prioritize my activities more because you only have one chance at high school. You only have one chance to make these friends, make these connections, have the experiences of going to competitions and rehearsals. And I feel like also having a job on the side can be very stressful for some people. It was very stressful for me. I feel like just making your priorities straight and just understanding that you can have a job and also have many different activities you want to be part of, and just knowing that you can have a lot of different friends. You can have friends at work, you can have friends at school, and many other activities. How I manage it is just having my activities separate from my work, just trying to like manage both of them at the same time, and knowing that when I'm doing my activities, I feel relieved. I feel less stressed than I would be at work, and I'm just like, I would rather be here. I would rather be with these people. And then when I go to work, it's just like, I can talk about the competition I went to yesterday. I can talk about my practices. So
she just has a presence about her that you just kind of are drawn to. So she's very friendly. When she speaks, you just kind of want to hear what she has to say. She doesn't talk to talk. She usually has something to say when she's talking, so I appreciate that about her. And she just has some really good qualities about her that I think will serve her well after she graduates and when she goes on to whatever she decides to do, whether she decides to join the military or she really wants to be a chef. So I hope she follows that path someday. And she's not afraid to try something she hasn't tried before. So, and she's also not afraid to say, "Okay guys, that was my fault, I'm sorry," which is impressive because that's not easy for people to do, especially in high school.
I would say being group commander for JROTC was a very big step for me because when I went to Washington and I was in their Army JROTC program, I always looked up to the people that were above me. And so me coming to Roosevelt as a senior and being that top person, I know that I gained all the stuff that I earned, and just like that feeling of like dedication. I want to join the Air Force for active duty, and so I'm trying to focus with my recruiter and trying to figure all of that out. But if that doesn't work, I do want to be a chef for the Air Force, so hopefully that works out. If it doesn't, my backup plan is to move to Georgia and just be a chef there, maybe work at a bakery.
She's very strong, she's very independent, she doesn't need to rely on anybody. She's a good friend, she's loyal, and she'll have your back if you need it. So I think those are really good qualities to have.
Thanks.